Hi, Nancy Ruby here with Yoga Motion Academy, and today I look forward to introducing you to 3 tips for thriving in 3 days. So if you implement these 3 simple tips to healthy living and you can integrate all 3 of them for a period of 3 days in a row, I think you're going to find a big difference in your life. I think you're going to feel yourself thriving rather than just surviving. And this is an important aspect of living a life that feels balanced and fulfilling. After practicing yoga for 30 years, I still am in constant growth and learning process. And that's what really keeps us rejuvenated, that keeps us young and integrated and interested in life. So today, these 3 tips in 3 days have a lot to do with balancing our life flow with nature's elements. And those elements of life, you've heard me talk about them before probably, are the elements of earth, water, fire, air, and what we call ether, but we also know as space. So when we really look at life from this standpoint of living in the balance of nature, we're always looking at how these different elements balance out. So the 3 different tips that I want to talk about today is to look at our patterns and how we're actually taking care of ourselves in 3 areas, and 3 very important areas. And the first area is the area of sleep, okay? And sleep is a time of rest, right? At least it's supposed to be. For some of you, you might not be sleeping through the night. You might be having trouble getting to sleep. You might have a rhythm in your life where you're not sleeping regularly. And so the important thing is that we start to move towards a comfortable sleep pattern. And today I'm going to introduce you to a practice that will give you a little bit more of a opportunity to sleep more deeply on a regular basis. And sleep is actually a time of rest, right? So when we're sleeping, we want our sleep to not be disturbed, but we want it to be a time of rest. And rest equals the elements of space, right? So when we're resting, we're giving ourselves space. And in order to sleep, we need to have time. Oops. And time is the element of air because it's always moving, right? Time is in constant motion. It's how we move through our life. And when we get to this place of rest, we're giving ourselves space in time. And you might think about it like when you don't have a good night's sleep and you wake up in the morning and you just don't feel like you have good space in your head might feel foggy. If you don't have enough time in your day, you feel like you don't have enough space to get your sleep in. So what we want to do is we want to allow ourselves to move into a place of practicing how to relax and how to calm our nervous system, how to quiet our mind, and how to allow our whole cardiovascular system to calm our heart, calm our circulation, and therefore calm our respiration. So the key is going to be in the breath, but we'll get back to the practices in a moment. So sleep's going to be one of the tips that we want to integrate, one of the practices. The second one is our energy. So kind of in balance with sleep is waking up and having a balanced sense of energy throughout the day. So energy is the element of fire. Let's put that on there. So here we have space and air, and then energy is more the fire element because fire moves up, right, and out, and it's expansive, and it's all about igniting. So what ignites your energy? What helps spark your interest in life? And so energy control, right? So what do we do to enrich our energy so that we have enough energy that feels really comfortable throughout the day so we can do the things that we love to do? Then this is also going to have a lot to do with our nervous system because the energy body is in line with that nervous system and how our nervous system is affected by whether or not we have enough energy, or we're feeling lethargic, or maybe we're feeling overly energized, we're kind of frenetic and we're burning ourselves out. That would be another fire element. So the energy body with the nervous system, and did I have another part in there? Well, basically also the energy body has to do with our muscular system, moving our body every day. Our skeletal system, when we move our muscles, we strengthen our bones. And when we move our muscles and our bones, then we're actually moving all the system, our circulatory system. We're cleansing our lymphatic system, which cleanses our bloodstream. And it also has a lot to do with our endocrine glands, which is our immune system. So we have to keep ourselves moving, because this container right here, this body that we live in, it is meant to move, okay? To move often and to rest deeply. You can see how these relationships are going, okay? The other system that it also helps to spark is our integumentary system. So when we move enough to get a little perspiration going, we're cleansing the largest organ in our body, which is our skin. So we'll come back to just how to do that on a daily basis. The third area that we want to attend to then is our food. So our physical form, this container in which we live, is known as our food body. In yoga it's called Annamaya Kosha, the food layer. And to take care of this body, it's all about putting food into it. What do we feed this machine that we live in? And so the food body has everything to do with the elements of earth, because we are earthlings, and water. And we actually are more water, we're more water than anything else, right? 70% watery substance inside this container. And it's really important that we survive, not only survive, but thrive when we have a good amount of water and food inside this container. So what we're going to think about today is not so much what we're eating, that's another lecture to come, but what we want to do is think about the how we're eating and the when of eating. I wrote a blog last week on intermittent fasting, and yes, it's true, we are what we eat, but we're also finding how important it is that we are when we eat, because the rhythms, just like nature's cycles that we're talking about, to keep all of these elements in balance, is there's a cycle that helps all these systems work harmoniously, okay? So what can we do with this? So the food body has everything to do with our digestion and our excretory system, the part that cleans out what is no longer needed. So what I want to invite you to do this week, or maybe over the course of several weeks, because it might take a while to get all three practices in 3 days in a row in order to thrive, is when it comes to sleep, we're simply going to integrate the respiratory system, okay? And we're going to do 15 minutes a day in 1 day of what we call mindful breath. So let's do that right now. So just let your breath go all the way. And then say to yourself, I'm breathing in, and breathe in. Pause. Say internally, I'm breathing out, and breathe out. I'm breathing in. I'm breathing out. And you can do this sitting quietly on your couch, laying in your bed, taking a dog for the walk. You can do this, I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. And when the mind starts to go, oh, but I'm thinking about this, or oh, I should have done that, or I want to do this, you recognize that your mind is pulling you away from the present moment, and you come back. That next breath, I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. 15 minutes a day. You can start with 5 if that's easier. Take it in baby steps. But 15 minutes a day is going to calm your nervous system, okay? and it's going to enhance your respiratory system and allow your heart rate to quiet down. And this is going to actually help to induce a deeper state of rest. Even when you're awake, you can be wakeful rest. And then it can also help with your sleep. And if you do wake up in the middle of the night for any reason, come back to this practice. Instead of worrying about not getting back to sleep, you've got this opportunity to practice mindful breathing. So 15 minutes a day, I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. The second practice, the second tip, is how to take care of our energy body. So the energy body, again, is our muscles, our bones, our lymphatic system, our endocrine system, our integumentary system, and of course, it's also our nervous system and our cardiovascular system. So what I want you to think about doing each day with your energy is, again, just a few minutes every day, consistency counts, is we're just going to wake up our body. So I want you to try this right now. Is just shake your hands. If you're just listening to this, driving the car, you might not want to do that. Just shake your arms and then just move your neck around in a comfortable way. You can move slower if you want. To relax your jaw. Start to shake through, just like a dog or a cat. When they get wet, they just shake it out. Or say a cat gets chased by a dog, then they pause and they shake it out. Okay, animals are always shaking out their energy, okay, to get rid of tension. You can shake it through your body and shake a leg, shake a leg. Breathing in and out. Just keep moving, or maybe you just stretch and move. You know, a lot of people that practice yoga, like me, we always think, oh, there's got to be some yoga poses, but really, the best yoga means to unite body, mind, breath, and spirit. So all you have to do is feel your body, and your body will actually be like, oh, can I just move this shoulder, please? I really want this shoulder moved, and my neck's a little tight, so can you just move that? So for 15 minutes a day, and I recommend this if you can in the morning before you start your day, is to activate, right? So get up early enough to breathe deeply and evenly, also known as meditate. And then move your body in all directions, known as activate, right? You could shake, you could jump. I just kind of dance around my living room. Sometimes I give a good massage to my skin. So moving your body in all directions for 15 minutes. And if you did that with me, if you were moving around with me, you can feel right now how your energy is now circulating. Because we're opening up the channels so all the rivers and streams within our body can flow. And that's going to help to feed all of our systems. So 15 minutes of movement a day. You know, it's not that much, but sometimes we'll go days without really moving much. We wake up, we have breakfast, we sit in the car, we go to work, we sit at the desk, we come home, we sit at the table, we sit on the couch, we watch TV. No movement. That creates lack of energy, and it really puts out your fire. So a little movement every day. So it might be first thing in the morning. You might need a little break in the middle of the day to keep you going, or maybe in the evening after dinner. It's really good to move. And this movement could also be taking the dog for the walk, or just getting out on a walk with your family, or whatever activities you enjoy doing. Just keep in mind that consistency of a little bit every day. And last but not least is this food category. So we really want to pay attention to what we're putting in our body, water and food, but instead of the what, I want you to think about the when. So one thing you can do on a daily basis, this is a bigger chunk, but it's called the 12 to 14, not minute, but hour fast. Don't let that word scare you, because it's on a daily basis. So you're going to eat your breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but what you're going to do is you're going to put space between your dinner and your breakfast so that you have 12 to 14 hours no food. So this cuts out the late night snacking, and this is going to be so healing for your digestive system and your excretory system. Your body needs time to rest and digest. I call this the hibernate mode. So when we go for a long period of time without eating, not only are you going to clear out your digestive tract, but your system is now going to digest other elements within your body that are no longer needed. It's going to clear out your tissues. It's going to clear out unnecessary thoughts. So it gets the mental area cleared out as well, but it's really going to help clear out unwanted fat cells and toxins that are stored in the fat cells. So this is becoming well known. It's funny because last week I wrote a blog about intermittent fasting and how important this was. And in Ayurveda, this has been around for a long time to have to eat earlier in the rhythms with the day, and we'll get to that whole cycle in another lecture. But when we eat earlier in the day, say by 6, and then we get up in the morning and we have breakfast around 6, 7, 8 o'clock. We start our day feeding our body, so our metabolism kicks in. During that period of time, for 12 to 14 hours, your body is resting and digesting, taking care of cleansing itself and then rebuilding itself, right? So the next day after that blog came out, wouldn't you know it, one of my students turned on the news, and there on NBC was a whole story about intermittent fasting. So this is becoming well known in our Western medicine. It's been around a long time in Ayurveda medicine. And so I'd like to introduce this to you today and really invite you to consider 3 things that you can do in 3 days. And I tell you, in 3 days, you will notice that you are thriving. You're going to be feeling a little bit different, or maybe a lot different, in these simple practices. So those again are 15 minutes of breathing. I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out, whether it's sitting, laying down, or even walking. 15 minutes of moving your body. Put the timer on. Just move around. Do your yoga, do your walking, nice jog, or just dance. Just move your body in all different directions, because that's what keeps things flowing and your fire burning. You'll feel more enthusiasm for your life, and you'll be rejuvenated. And the word rejuvenate means to be youthful. Juve means youth. So rejuvenate yourself. And then lastly, do practice giving yourself that break. Now that means you're going to have to eat earlier and you need to eat breakfast. But if you do that, you're going to feel a big difference when you wake up in the morning. You're going to feel refreshed. You might even feel it the very first day. Okay, so there's your 3 tips in 3 days to thrive. Thrive on. I wanted to also take this time to introduce you to 2 events I have coming up that will integrate everything I just spoke about in aligning with nature's rhythms, in utilizing the tools, the art and science of yoga and Ayurveda. And so coming the 1st of March is the Fantastic Voyage. I've been looking forward to offering this program for a year now. And it's really journeying into our precious human body, getting to know all the different systems that are present within us. And sometimes we're not that clear about where everything is. So we'll have some visuals, we'll move things around, we'll do some palpation. That means finding out what's in there. And then we'll also integrate the practices of yoga through movement, breath, meditation, and Ayurveda, additional tools and practices of life care or self-care that we can integrate into our life that will help to keep in balance all these different systems. We'll also talk about the common functions and then how yoga and Ayurveda can help to support healing. Okay, if there is a dysfunction, it's out of my scope of practice to diagnose or say this is going to create this, but we know that taking care of every system in our body is really a way of preventative care, holistic care. So we'll look at them individually, and then we'll look at our whole organism as it is, everything connected. So please join me. There's 8 different workshops over 4 days, and you're welcome to come to one or all. There is consistency from beginning to end, but again, it depends on how much time and space you have in your life to dedicate to your own preventative care education and self-care practices. Secondly, I have my annual Women's Weekend coming up called Thrive this year. So it's all about thriving, and not only are we going to learn about these different practices that help us live a very vibrant, soulful life, we're going to put them right into our 3 days together at Boulder Hot Springs, Montana. So check out those events. I'd love to have you join me, and we'll be in touch. Namaste.